Right. Well, Aaron, this week I'm going to give you a bit of a warfare breakdown.
Oh, okay.
Something, I like natural history, but I
Mm.
also like history as well.
Yeah.
And I think you do you like history as well?
Yes, I do like history.
Yeah.
There's a lot to learn from it, or
Refuse to,
if
then
you're on
you
the right, a lot to ignore from it.
exactly. Anyway, well, this is military history, but this is military
Oh,
history with a difference. So we are going to look at nature's unlikely soldiers
okay.
and how humans are, well, we're very good at using things creatively, shall we say.
Mm.
So throughout history, warfare has pushed humans to weaponize not only machines and men, but also the natural world. In fact, think of the Shaolin weaponry and your classic ninja weaponry as well.
Hmm.
Things like the what are they called? The
The three-pronged one.
three-pronged one,
That's a sai. You know,
right?
Raphael from
Yeah, there you go. The
Sai.
Ninja Turtle weapons is the best example. So the sai was originally used
Yeah.
for planting seeds. Nunchucks.
Nunchucks too. Yeah.
Who has the nunchucks?
Isn't that Mikey?
Could be, yeah.
I think it's Michelangelo. Yeah.
They were originally used for beating hay and straw and
That's
like
correct.
breaking off
Yeah.
the seeds from the end, and things like the Shaolin spade as well. That was originally a spade.
A lot of the weapons from because I have a bit of a background in that because I did Southern Shaolin Hung
Yeah,
Gar Kung Fu, and a lot of the weapons actually find their origin in agricultural tools because it was what you could defend yourself with that was within reach
it's your
when the enemy came.
it's your classic. Everyone pick up a pitchfork and let's go to war. So anyway, so we're very good at turning things into weapons. If you've ever seen someone with a brick throwing it, there you go. So among the most unexpected yet effective weapons have been insects
Hmm.
and even insect related substances. From ancient biological traps to modern biotechnology, insects have played a role in both psychological and biological warfare. And they're both fascinating fields to look at. So, what we're going to look at is the use of insects and insect inspired tools in warfare, citing historical battles, because, what's talking about things without giving the actual battles,
Hmm.
and drawing connections to modern technology as well. So, I've got a couple of different examples. The first one is Mad Honey and the Battle of. Now,
Hec-
you're going to have to help with the Greek translation here.
Hectacometes.
Hectocometes, there you
Hmm.
go, circa 67 BCE. Now, this is an absolutely fantastic use of strategy using insect derived substances. So, what I'm talking about is mad honey, and it was used in a clash between Roman soldiers and the
The Heptacometes, the tribe.
right.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it said tribe. If you
Yeah,
think,
I can do tribe.
yeah.
Now what is northeastern Turkey. So they used mad honey, which is basically bees feeding on rhododendron flowers. So
Ah.
this is something that is a toxin that is found in the pollen of rhododendrons, and obviously the bees are fine with it,
Hmm.
and they can even use the honey themselves. But if humans use it, it has pretty nasty side effects. But it looks pretty much the same as normal honey. So it contains a neurotoxin called granotoxin. This honey, when consumed, even in small amounts, and I'm talking like small teaspoon amounts, can cause dizziness, vomiting, hallucinations, and slow your heart rate and even completely incapacitate people as well.
Wow.
So imagine, if you will, during a military campaign in 67 BCE, the Roman troops under General Pompey the Great, they fell victim to this trap. The pronounce it again.
The Heptacometes.
They left pots of this intoxicating honey along the path that the Romans walked along. And
The,
the Roman soldiers basically were hungry, unsuspecting. They consumed the honey and
oh
soon
no.
become completely and utterly disorientated and incapacitated.
The,
At that moment, the
the Heptacometes.
launched their attack, overwhelming the completely drugged Roman
No way.
forces in one of the earliest and most successful uses of basically biochemical warfare.
That's
They got them
amazing.
completely and utterly stoned before probably completely and utterly stoning them to death.
That's amazing.
And I've been obsessed with the idea of mad honey ever since learning about that fact, and I love that as a thought process of just leave it out, and people go, "Oh, honey." Well, I'm not going to pass that up.
I love it. I wonder how many stories there are of armies leaving gifts out for their
Oh,
enemies, and the
there
enemy
are
takes it.
lots.
You've got mad honey and Trojan horses.
Yep.
Wow.
So the next one we've got is siege tactics using scorpions, bees, and hornets. Some of your
Yeah,
favorites.
this sounds awesome.
So in the siege of Hatra, I can pronounce that one, in the 2nd century AD,
Mm.
defenders of the Mesopotamian city used pots filled with scorpions, bees, or even wasps, which were then thrown or dropped in onto Roman attackers.
Do you know what? I really like these people because it's always happening to the Romans. This will serve them right for changing the names of the Greek gods.
Well, there you go. I had a feeling you'd like this. Basically, they used psychological terror and physical pain caused by throwing these invertebrates into to disrupt the enemy assault, and contributed to Hatra's successful defense as well.
God, that's
So basically,
amazing.
clay pots full of angry hornets
Shake them up
lobbed
first and lob them.
into the opposing army and just have that scatter open. That is going to, it doesn't matter how much armor you have got on, that is going to scatter most people.
Yeah.
Even one wasp can usually scatter most
Imagine
people.
that trapped in that age of armor that you would have had. Like, oh,
Yep. And think of a lot of Roman armor as well, has a lot of gaps.
yeah.
Like leather armor has gaps, and that will lead to them being able to be stung.
I'm imagining all the Wilhelm screams now.
Similarly, though, in the 16th century in Vietnam, hornets' nests were used to ambush Chinese invaders, adding an element of unpredictability and chaos to guerrilla warfare at the time. So, I mean, first off, that takes a bit of skill to get that hornet's nest. Second, have the wherewithal, whilst presumably these hornets are rather annoyed that you've just ripped their nest down from somewhere, to then accurately aim it at the enemy as well. And hopefully the hornets don't hang around you.
Yeah.
So, moving forward a bit, we move to World War II. Plague fleas and Japanese bio-warfare. Now, one of the most infamous examples of insect warfare, which is entomological warfare is the term that we use for this. This is probably the most documented case. As during World War II, the Japanese Unit 731, which was a secret biological warfare program that ran throughout the war, used cultivated rat fleas infested with Yersinia pestis, which is the Black Plague. Then cultivated these fleas with the plague to basically use in 1940 during attacks on Chinese cities like Ningbo and Changdri. I've probably butchered those. They basically dropped from aircraft flea-infested rice and grain, triggering plagues and outbreaks amongst the civilian population, and thousands of civilians died from the fleas carrying bubonic plague. They were among the first deployments of insects as a biological weapon as well.
I was actually just fact checking something there because I wanted to add they weren't the first to do that.
No,
Genghis Khan was known for doing
yes.
that.
I mean, Genghis Khan didn't drop them aerially.
No, he catapulted bubonic plague infested rats into the city of Kaffa, I think it was.
Yeah.
But then when I believe, if I remembered the story right, once it's infected the city and there's no one left to defend it, he then overtook the city, took the bodies that were infected, carted them off to the next city, and catapulted those in.
There you go. I mean,
Khan, genius.
That's recycling right there. So, moving a bit further forward, we go to the Cold War. Operation Big Itch and Operation Dropkick. Both US and Soviet explored entomological warfare during the Cold War. The US Army's Fort Detrick conducted multiple tests. I mean, at this point in history, you've got the US and the USSR just trying to outdo each other in insane things. You
Mm.
know, we had everything from, well, the space race,
I
which
was going
led
to
to
say that.
all sorts of different things,
Yeah.
to all sorts of other ways of getting around each other to, to make things happen. So, at Fort Detrick, they had Operation Big Itch from 1954. They released uninfected fleas to test dispersion and survivability. Then they had Operation Dropkick in 1956. They released mosquitoes, the Egyptian mosquito, Aedes aegypti, into the US neighborhoods to study their spread.
So they were testing their weapons intended for Russia on their own people.
I mean, this wouldn't be the first time a government has
Uh,
done that. Even though these experiments did not actually involve pathogens, they revealed how insects could be effectively deployed in a wartime scenario, especially for biological delivery.
hmm.
So they were testing the theory of, well, if we just threw a few of them over there, what's that going to do? I mean, that's all well and good, and I presume at the time they obviously thought about the temperature and weather and climate and things.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm glad they never went any further with that. But I'd be rather annoyed to know that the government is throwing live, biological warfare things at me.
Yeah.
So guerrilla warfare, insects as environmental weapons.
Mm.
So during the Vietnam War, the Viet Cong, which I mean, let's face it, they completely, made the Americans look stupid in so many ways. By just knowing their own country, they weaponize the jungle's natural insect threats. Think Predator. That's probably your best way.
Mm.
Arnie all of a sudden realizing he can use the jungle to his advantage.
Yeah.
They often positioned punji stick traps near fire ant nests. Now, a punji stick is possibly one of the most brutal kinds of traps you can imagine. They are bamboo canes with the ends sharpened, and your foot goes in and does not come back out because the bamboo sticks in and locks into position. So your foot is now trapped, bleeding in a pit, presumably surrounded by fire ants.
Mm.
So you are incapacitated at that point. They also put these inside of termite mounds as well, ensuring that the wounds would become painfully infected and also probably painfully bitten, stung, and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
They also use dense infested foliage to wear down enemy morale and readiness, transforming the natural ecosystem into a passive ally, which I just love the fact that if you know your countryside, where you live, you can hang on. I believe it's one of the best bits in the third Indiana Jones film, where you see Indiana Jones Sr. running towards a flock of gulls with his umbrella and
Yeah.
getting them to fly up, and the Nazi plane that is flying towards them, the gulls, destroy
Yeah.
its engine, and he then quotes, I believe it's Charlemagne. I'll do my best, Sean Connery. I believe it's Charlemagne. Let let the trees be my short sword and shield. I'm rubbish at this, but Junior. Anyway, yes, that sort of thing. Let the environment be your ally. So, psychological and mythological impact of Desert Storm and insect fear.
Oh, I know where this is
So,
going.
in 1991, during Operation Desert Storm in Iraq, rumors falsely circulated that Iraq had developed insect-based biological weapons. I mean, it doesn't take much to sort of spread a rumor and
Yeah.
have things, sort of come out of nowhere. Although completely and utterly founded, the mere suggestion of insect warfare sparked anxiety, and this revealed a deep-rooted fear and psychological trauma that can be impacted by insects and can even be exerted in warfare, regardless of their actual deployment. Now,
Wow.
cast your mind back to early 2000s to what I have no idea. Desert Storm 2, I don't know. Whatever they called it the second time we turned up for looking for weapons of mass
Desert
destruction.
Storm 2, the storming in return.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
So there were so many photos that would circulate online of giant soldifuges, the sun spiders or
Yeah.
camel spiders, which were actually just like the perspective used to take the picture,
Forced perspective, yeah.
making it out that these were somehow giant things that were roaming the desert, attacking people and eating them. And you have all these soldiers that have got these pictures of them holding them like that close to the lens, the lens, so it makes them look bigger. All it takes is people spreading that sort of rumor, and it spreads
Mm.
very, very quickly to freaking people out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it can be incredibly effective as psychological warfare. But we come to the modern day to an extent because this idea seems to have just sort of fallen by the wayside in some ways. And it's insects to drones, bio-inspired military technology.
Mm.
Quote your Terminator bit here.
Yeah.
It's part man, part machine, or part bug, part machine. So the term drone today conjures up images, probably rightly so, of surveillance aircraft or quadcopters. You only have to think of, obviously, what's going on in Ukraine at the moment to realize how effective and how lethal drones can be. Well, originally, the term drone actually refers to male honeybees, known primarily for obviously their reproductive role and characteristic buzzing, which I suppose is what inspires the sort of sounds that you hear from them.
Yeah.
Which, I'm imagining, if you're a Russian soldier, is probably one of the most terrifying sounds to hear, that buzzing sound of a drone coming towards you.
Mm.
But early unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs, adopted this term in the 1930s due to their buzzing sound and expandability, much like that of their biological namesakes. Now, militaries are starting to come full circle, developing bio-inspired drones that mimic insect behavior. DARPA has basically got its Insect Allies project, and they explore using genetically modified insects, which, I mean, I've never seen a sci-fi film where that's gone wrong.
No.
to deliver beneficial genes to crops during wartime or post-conflict recovery, though it sparked international ethical concerns. In fact, isn't that the plot to Jurassic World Dominion or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Giant locusts. Now, cyborg insects. I've got this one for you, such as beetles or moths fitted with microchips that have been demonstrated with the potential for surveillance in hostile or inaccessible environments. And some of these have actually had microchips fitted so it actually hijacks the animal's brain, and they are essentially remote control.
That's crazy.
And you end up with robotic insect drones. So no larger than a fingernail. Some of these are being developed for espionage and reconnaissance. These micro drones can mimic the flight dynamics of bees or dragonflies, allowing them to evade detection and enter small or cluttered spaces.
That's crazy.
You end up with this. You end up with two versions of it: either robots that are inspired by insects and are made to be as insect-like,
Yeah.
or insects that are being turned into cyborgs.
Cyborgs, yeah.
Because let's face it, most people are not going to notice a cockroach in the corner,
Yeah.
or a moth on the wall, or all of a sudden you're going to have every terrorist cell or spy ring or whatever cleaning the room for literal bugs.
Yeah.
So as militaries push the frontier of biometric warfare, insects, both literal and robotic, are once again on the front lines. Although I do feel, we should bring back the mad honey.
I do that is pretty
mad.
Pretty mad, yeah.
So from poisoned honeypots to robotic bees, the use of insects in warfare spans centuries and technologies. Insects have served as tools on the of biological destruction, psychological warfare, and now technological inspiration as well. The lines between biology and engineering blur. Insects, once dismissed as simple pests, are proving to be some of the most cunning and versatile weapons for human conflict. Whether drawn from nature or mimicked in the lab, their legacy in warfare is only growing, and proof yet again that insects, well, they rule the world. They are, if they realized what we were doing with them, well, we are done.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's crazy.
It's let's say entomological warfare is fascinating. There's so many other ones that we could put in there as well. Things like the potato bugs that were potentially going to be used, I believe, by the Nazis. Sorry, the Colorado potato bug, where they were going to try and destroy crops by sending in these beetles that do a lot
Wow.
of damage. There's all sorts of examples of people giving blankets infested with fleas, to spread disease.
Yeah.
The mere thought of just even going as far as saying someone who doesn't want a building being lived in, just allowing insects to basically multiply in there will drive down the price of a building, things like
Yeah.
that. Insects are an animal or a group of animals that just have so much impact on our psychology that we can use them as a weapon,
Mm.
Um, yeah.
There's some quite inventive ways that they've been used.
Like, I think the best one is, like, say, people picking up a wasp nest and just lobbing it at the
Yeah,
enemy.
yeah.
That's
That's
enough to get most people running.
just imagine like trying to hold that whilst they're coming for you.
Yeah. You just got to be. Do you know what it reminds me of? Bit in Lord of the Rings, in the Two Towers, you get the Urukai, the berserker who runs in with the torch to blow
Oh
up
yeah.
the wall. You are that person. That's your job, is to sacrifice yourself to
Yeah.
make that impact on the enemy.
The proverbial sacrificial lamb, I suppose.
Yep. You're going to have a
Yeah.
very stung hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you've liked what you've heard today, remember to give us a like, follow, whatever you want to do on whatever platform you are consuming us on. But also, why not tell us your favorite historical use of insects in warfare, any that we might have missed, and we may cover them in another video entirely. But yeah,
Mm.
there you go.
That's fascinating. Fascinating.